Hello everyone and welcome back to a professional match of StarCraft 2. Today it's time for a Zerg versus Terran where we find ourselves on Hardwire. Spawning right here in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, playing with the red Zerg drones from South Korea, we have Solar. His opponent in the opposite corner with the blue Terran SCVs from Germany, we are looking at HeroMarine's main command center. Alrighty, now from what I've heard, this is a really good game of TVZ, and once again, we find ourselves on Hardwire. I mean, I have casted many good TVZs over the last couple of months, and every single time it seems that the bangers are played on Hardwire LE, so I'm not entirely sure exactly what it is about this map that seems to create such epic games of StarCraft. In a lot of ways, it's very straightforward and very standard. I would say that's probably the fact that you can take this base relatively easily, right? So it's pretty doable to take 4 to 5 bases relatively easily, and I guess that just simply gives the players enough resources to then also build up those epic big armies. Anyways, HeroMarine is Solar. So here's the thing. I mean, I don't mean this with any disrespect towards either of these two players. HeroMarine, I genuinely believe that he's one of the very best Terran players in the world, and Solar also, likewise, one of the very best Zerg players in the world. But neither of these two players seem to win premier tournaments. And I'm not entirely sure as to why that is, because both HeroMarine and Solar consistently make it into the top 8, sometimes even the top 4, but they seem to have a very hard time bringing it home. I mean, obviously there's a couple of players just slightly above their skill level that seem to be able to just, bring it home consistently. And Solar and HeroMarine seem to hang just slightly below that. That being said, HeroMarine, of course, I mean, spoiler alert, I suppose, he nearly made it into the grand finals of IEM Katowice, the World Championships. He ended up making it to the semifinals overall, but even in the semis, I mean, that was a very close series. I may very well end up casting that one at some point in the future still, even though I guess I've already sort of spoiled the results for you, and I've already seen the games myself as well, but that was a really good one. In the end, he made it to the semifinals, ended up taking $40,000, which is not bad whatsoever. Solar, of course, also a good showing. I mean, I don't really want to spoil anything else. Should I tell you what he... Nah, I'm not going to tell you. Anyways, what I'm getting at is that both of these players don't really win premier tournaments, but they seem to be just below that tippity top of the skill level. Obviously, both Solar and HeroMarine, they do both participate in a ton of online tournaments, and they seem to win a couple of those every single week. The grand total of earnings for tournaments for Solar, for example, is sitting at $463,000. Now, he has won some significant events back in the day. I think the last one was probably like... I think he won an SSO in like 2013, 2014 or so. But it's been a little while. But I guess you're always gonna have players, right, that just barely are below the tippity top of the skill level. If you compare, for example, HeroMarine to, for example, Maru, right? Is Maru better than HeroMarine? I would say overall, yes. Exactly why or how? I don't know. I mean, they play a bit of a different play style, so obviously a lot of that can be written up to, just simply the way that they approach the game overall. Ooh, is he gonna get it? Oh, he really wants it. All right. But yeah, there's a slight difference. I mean, if you compare Solar's playstyle to, for example, a Serral, I mean, he plays very similarly to, for example, a Serral, or for example, a Rogue or a Dark or whatever. They all play kind of similarly. I would say that Serral in particular is slightly crisper with execution, but we're talking like, you know, single-digit percentages, right? We're talking like a couple percent here and there, where everything is just ever so slightly more smooth. And I guess that's probably, the best way to describe it. At the highest level of StarCraft 2, it is very difficult to make that difference. Anyways, Fusion Core right now coming up here from Mr. HeroMarine. Looks like we've got ourselves a bit of a Battlecruiser operational type of start. Very nice. Hey, by the way, I mentioned in yesterday's video that I've managed to get the virus. I know, it's not great. Just want to give a shout out to everyone who like reached out. I literally had like hundreds of people reaching out to me, wishing me good luck and, you know, hoping I won't die. I mean, no, that's not gonna happen. But yeah, it's been nice. Thank you very, very much. I overall don't really... I mean, you can hear that my voice is a little bit raspy, I suppose. But overall, I'm not coughing, I'm not sneezing, I'm not really... I don't have any fever or whatever. I'm not really struggling too hard. Honestly, if I didn't get a test, I probably would have assumed I just got a cold, but... Anyways, let's hope it remains this way and it isn't gonna get worse from here. One nice advantage, actually, of streaming, I actually thought I was only complaining starting at like late Saturday, but a couple of viewers reached out to me and they were like, hey Lowko, you were actually already complaining on Friday that you had a bit of an itchy throat and that you weren't feeling so great. So I was like, oh. I thought Saturday night was like, you know, when I was starting to feel a little bit shaky, but turns out it was a little bit sooner than that. I guess that's an advantage of live streaming. Alright, so Solar at this point hasn't seen the Battlecruiser, but I mean, he's already started up the spores. He knows that his opponent must have a starport, and if it was a Banshee opener, or say for example, yeah, I actually like this. Alright, there's a little bleep. If this would have been a Banshee or a Raven or a Liberator or whatever, it would have already shown itself. Just because those units take far less long to produce. So even though Solar hadn't seen that it was a Battlecruiser start here, he could still put 1-on-1 together. Hellions, oddly enough, on idle, not trying to jump into the third base. I would have liked to see that. Okay, now they're finally moving forward. I guess Solar had already split up the queens. This is something that the Zerg players have gotten very good at, right? So rather than just simply using all of the queens to try and deflect one big unit in the main base and then losing a lot of units at the third, usually Zerg players are very good at splitting up the units. That being said, it looks like these Hellions right now on the right side of the map have found, if they go right now, I think they have found a way to get some work in. Alright, let's see. Yep, one Overlord missing on the right side of the map. 7 drones end up going down. If it's gonna go at the cost of all of these Hellions, though... Okay, 9 drones in total. Yeah. I never liked those traits. Like, it looks good, right? Because, I mean, obviously the Hellions aren't very helpful here going forward. But the problem is that, I mean, you're not going to get those Hellions back. And now, until Stimpack and Combat Shield and 1-1 and whatnot are done, Terran's going to be forced to essentially sit back. I mean, you can do some damage over here. Now, that's nice, of course. But I think it's always nicer to have a couple of those Hellbats still in the main army. And morph them into, or I guess move the Hellions into Hellbats and then try and have them soak up a couple of Baneling hits or something along those lines. Anyways, Terran players around the world seem to disagree. I've seen a lot of dead Hellions thrown away into those Zerg mineral lines. Honestly, yeah, 13 drones is really the best he's gonna get, right? Honestly, that's already a little bit too much. Maybe that's the difference, right? So say, for example, this would have been Cyril playing. I find it hard to believe Cyril would lose 13 drones. Cyril would probably lose like 5. And then all of a sudden, those builds seem kind of silly. Probably also one of the reasons why people tend to not open up Battlecruiser Hellion against him. Anyways, this could be nice. This could be really nice here for HeroMarine. Okay. Jimmy right there, barely not getting the evacuation he was hoping for, but Hatchery will stay alive for the time being. I like this. A couple of Hellions, or sorry, a couple of Marines right there dropped into the little jump-up pad. Sadly, right now they've lost high ground vision, so they will get poked to death right there by the queens. A lot of the epic games on Hardwire of TVZ that I've seen are Terran players focusing on mech. HeroMarine, of course, not really a mech kind of guy. Does snipe the 5th base as well. Nicely done here. Not really a mech kind of player. So he's focusing right here on a biological army instead. I mean, his nickname is literally HeroMarine. Not Hero Siege Tank, right? Or Hero Battlecruiser. Although I think Hero Battlecruiser is probably too many for the character limit. Interestingly enough, by the way, we've got Solo right here going for Hydraling Bane. So, pretty late Infestation Pit. Normally, we only see Hydras used as, like, little baby Lurkers. Honestly, Hydras are probably the worst Zerg unit right now, other than maybe the Ultralisk or something. Hydras are pretty good in some scenarios. They're pretty good against Terran overall, I would say, but... yeah, Lurkers are so much better. I'm never too keen on Hydras in general. Never really seems to work out very well. Now, one advantage, of course, of Hydras is that they do outrange Widowmines when they are fully upgraded. So that's one of the reasons why we do oftentimes see them still mixed in and against these Widowmine-based armies. Okay. The drops over here getting some work done as well. Looks like the Bio army here did get cleaned up somewhat here on the left side of the map. Yeah, the majority of that Bio army looks like it was killed right there by the Banelings. A couple of drones going down as well, though, and HeroMarine still is looking ridiculously strong. 4th base is quite late, so he was definitely putting a lot of eggs in that basket. Oh my god, really? I'm actually gonna back up here for just a second. So, even though he knew that the medevac was there, yeah, the Drilling Boy upgrade is very fast, right? Wait, they don't even have it yet. Oh my god, really? Alright, well that was a little bit sloppy right there by Solar. Yeah, Drilling Claw starts up right now. I expected that to already be finished. That would at the very least explain why Solar got caught off guard so bad, but I guess he was busy looking at something else. And then suddenly, he ends up losing 39 drones in this game in total. It's been a few here, a few there. Very nice work here by the German Terran player. The one accidental swarm host. The Koreans refuse to rebind the hotkey for that unit. It's to do with their queen inject method. They use this queen inject method that allows them to like inject like 5 dozen bases in like under half a second. 5 dozen might be a bit much, but they can literally inject like a dozen bases in under a second. It's really fast. The problem is if you fat finger your hotkey right there for a second, you do accidentally make that one swarm host. Alright, so Hive Tech is here, but you can see Solar sticking around on Hydraling Bane. He's now adding on Vipers. HeroMarine here, just going for the good old standard Marine Marauder Medevac Mine. There is a Zergling counterattack over here, but it looks like the Battlecruiser is still happy to help out with the base defense. Okay, Zerglings right here, split off from the pack. Zerg managed to hold on for now. Usually, these sort of tempo plays that HeroMarine is going for right now, where he basically just tries to pile on the pressure, usually this is halted by the Zerg player going for a couple of Lurkers, right? So if you have a few Lurkers out here, it's very difficult for Terran to continue pushing. So there's finally the Lurker Den. What I'm getting at is, though, that the Lurker Den here is quite late compared to what we normally see in the current meta of StarCraft 2. So for the foreseeable future, HeroMarine is going to be able to put on, yeah, even more pressure if he wants to. And there we go, once again. Gabe is a big fan of this, man. If he can, he will set all of his rally points towards the other side of the map and just continuously flood Terran units towards, well, the Zerg side of the map in this case. But he does it against Terran, he does it against Protoss as well. Love this positioning, by the way, here for Terran. We'll probably see a scan here. Yep. Get rid of that creep tumor. It's gonna take a little bit of time until all of that creep disappears, but Liberators are now gonna try and stress the multitasking here of the Zerg even more. This is not something that the Terran really has to look at, so he can continue focusing on dealing damage wherever he can. Wait for the creep to disappear, push forward. Try and not take a Baneling to the face, though. Okay, Marauders there in the front, Marines mostly running. Decent trade right there for HeroMarine once again. HeroMarine not adding on a 5th command center, so notice the stylistic difference right here to, for example, Maru, right? Maru at this stage in the game would probably already be sitting at like, alright, there we go. The Iron Bank, right? He would add on additional command centers as well. HeroMarine focusing on more pressure here instead. There's the ranged upgrade for those Lurkers coming up. Once those are out, though, the tempo here can, yeah, it can easily shift. So far, it's been HeroMarine in the driver's seat of this game. Once the Lurkers are fully upgraded, this is going to be a very different game. Oh. Ooh, I thought the Widowmine right there was going to connect with the Viper. Yeah, this is still a very well upgraded Zerg army, right? So +2/+2 already done. Terran, though, just about to finish up +3/+3. Yeah. Going for the weapons upgrade first. Alright, so the age of the Marines and the Marauders is over. Long live the Ghost. Every Terran player's most favorite MOBA unit. They've got every ability they need, dude. They've got Cloak, they've got Snipe, they've got EMP, they even have an ulti. With those nukes. We don't see their ulti used that often, but still cool. Wouldn't be surprised to see it mixed in here. Alright, Marauders once again in the front. Is there enough, though, for the Zerg player to push through this? Honestly, the Zerg army is looking absolutely massive. And despite that choke point there, yeah, Solar takes a decisive victory. That Zerg eco here has been quite good for quite some time. And despite the fact that he did lose 46 workers in this game so far, right now he's starting to finally catch a little bit of an advantage. Can he ride the wave home, though? That's the question. I don't think so, right? There's 12 Marines being produced right here every single production structure, or every single production cycle, rather. Good moves right there by HeroMarine. Fighting off creep, of course, very hard, but The 5th command center there did end up going down. Planetary Fortress did not finish. That being said, Gabe, of course, did add on a 2nd command center as well when he built the 5th one. So, I guess the 5th and a 6th at the same time. So, he's going to be able to morph an orbital, or move an orbital right here towards that newly acquired base. This does leave it more susceptible, of course, to lurkers, as well as, like, Ling Bane run-bys and all that. Speaking of which, lurkers finally coming up. 15 minutes into the game. Alright. So one way in which you can defend this base is just by being in your opponent's face the entire time, right? I wouldn't mind seeing like a little wall off or something along those lines over there. Or maybe even another command center over here. And then morph that one into a planetary fortress. 2 Marauders and 2 Marines inside of a plane. It's a very, very easy to harass base, though. You can run in Banelings from several different angles here. Definitely an opportunity right there for Solar. Hello, what's this? Okay, a couple of free units right here. Good guy, Solar. Apparently felt a little bit too good after taking that small lead. Nydus network is coming up here. Okay, nice. There's already an Overseer inside of the main base. That Overseer, it's got like 17 eyes. It's gonna be able to, yeah, give him vision, I suppose, for where he wants to put down those Nydus worms. And this is starting to hurt now. Okay, so HeroMarine in the driver's seat of this game for the first, I would say, 14 minutes. Most Zerg players would crumble under the pressure. So far, not Solar. Ooh, good snipes. Very nice snipes. Zerg is, at this point, maxed out, but he needs to be careful, yeah. HeroMarine right now inviting his opponent off creep. Nydus Worm goes up in the main base. I love it. HeroMarine currently has all of his attention right here on the Zerg side of the map. Is he not paying attention? Okay, now he's seen it, but, yeah, what are you gonna do about it at this point? Okay, Lurker's in the main base. This is where the production of the Terran player is mostly still coming from. So this is gonna be one of those very annoying moves to clean up. At the same time, small hit squad of units in the bottom right-hand corner. Based on the left-hand side, normally one of the Terran expos. Taken here by the Zerg. Okay, Zerg going in for what seems to be another big counterattack. That does mean that the bases at home, okay, are indeed vulnerable. Action all over the map right now. HeroMarine still decides to push forward. This is a very dangerous move. Obviously, it takes about a half minute to a minute or so until all that creep is gone. So now you're moving deep onto the creep, and that's where those Banelings are going to have a much easier time. Zerglings dealing a lot of damage. That base already losing 17 workers. I don't know about the planetary fortress, man. If you don't repair it up in time, yeah, it's going to deal a lot of damage. At the same time, the Bio Army pushing forward. Baneling Nest goes down. Nydus Worm, I mean, yeah, it's going to be a one-way street, I guess, but those Lurkers weren't planning on coming home. At this point, Zerglings are breaking through in the natural expo right here of the Terran player as well. Zerg dealing so much damage, picking up the units as they pop out of those production structures. At the same time, though, Solar, yeah, is being overwhelmed at home. HeroMarine dealing a lot of damage. Lurkers right here morphing in on the high ground for the Zerg player. Some of them do finish. That's good. Good for the Zerg player anyways. Well, Terran still getting some juicy snipes over here. I can't believe HeroMarine decided to go that deep onto the creep. Nicely done right here by the German Terran. Something very dangerous, though. Yeah, he's losing a lot of units here, right? Like, we're bleeding out a lot of those Terran big hitters. Ghost, though? I mean, they're heavy hitters. Getting a lot of work in. And obviously, the main base is where all of the important tech right here for the Zerg player is, right? So he's already adding on a new spawning pool. He's added on a new Banelings nest right here on the left side of the map, too. HeroMarine evacuating the main base entirely, but he's also getting rid of his opponent's main. HeroMarine hasn't seen this base right here on the left side of the map. That's a big one, actually. If he would have seen that one, he would have certainly sent some units in that direction, but maybe a bit of a miscalculation right there on the side of the Terran. He is moving in the bottom right, though. Dealing a lot of damage over there. Command centers and barracks and a couple of factories trying to reposition themselves in the middle of the map. Hive at this point is gone. One hero drone with a peace offering will be brutally murdered as well. 5 minerals is not gonna cut it right there, Solar. No truce for you, my man. In the meantime, though, okay, a couple of drones have made their way towards the other side of the map. And it looks like hatcheries are now being made inside of the main base right here of the Terran. Solar probably a little bit concerned to run out of resources here, to run out of larva. One of the production resources for the Zerg, of course. Okay, that's a lot of siege tanks, though. I love that HeroMarine was playing HeroMarine's earlier, but has now gone, yeah, he's gone ahead and made a huge siege tank army. He's making a new command center somewhere out on the map as well. A couple of Zerglings over here dealing some damage. Looks like the orbital command right there on the left side of the map did end up going down. A new one, though, is coming up once again here for Gabe. Army in the bottom right-hand corner, joined by one Reaper. Probably fat-fingering one of his own hotkeys as well. Getting some work in. Every time, though, right? Every time we look at this army, I feel like I hear the ghosts hitting some sniperinos. Solar at this point, 50 supply ahead. But yeah, that's another Lurker dead. Nice moves right here by HeroMarine. HeroMarine obviously has units and army and structures, right? Like sprinkled all over the map. So he can't really be surprised right now by the Zerg force. The last drones actually for the Zerg player. No, actually, no, that's not the last of them. There's still like 30 of them out there somewhere. Where'd they even go? I guess there's a couple of drones burrowed over here. A couple of drones in the middle of them. Yeah, okay. This is awkward. Command centers right here next to two hatcheries. Solar trying to remake some drones. I don't know where he's planning on sending those workers, though. HeroMarine keeping his head cool, still maneuvering the army around the map. Going after every single one of those Zerg bases. He knows that there's hatcheries inside of his old main. But that's once again, good couple of kills right here. Another spawning pool over here was also produced. Okay, we're going for 2 more spawning pools. Right next to each other. Not entirely sure if that was necessary. Spawning pool 3 and 4. This looks like the way that like the campaign Zergs. You know, like when you play the Terran campaign and you go up against one of the Zergs. This looks like the way that they build bases. 2 spawning pools, 2 hatcheries right next to each other. Solar secretly an AI. Hello. Making a lair over here. Probably not ideal. These Lurkers are gonna have to run for their lives, although, well, you know what? That one Reaper over here, I was giggling about it, but it's dealing a lot of work. Taking a lot of the damage right there, getting healed up via medevac. Anyways, the hatchery already gone. Zerg trying to hunt down as many of those structures as possible, but obviously the Terran structures can fly. Not a whole lot of anti-air available. 2 random siege tanks and a few Marines. Finding some work. HeroMarine, by the way, not really getting any income of his own either, right? So 27 minerals right here. I think that's just one SCV over here trying to get some sort of work done. Both players, though, still have a bank. At this point, HeroMarine has evened up the supply. Okay, looks like one of the spawning pools was cancelled, and now we're going to go for double bailing nest instead. Double hatchery into double spawning pool into double bailing nest. A new meta. Natural and main base are run out, so apparently Solar is going to long distance mine the mineral fields over at the 3rd base of the Terran player. Or I guess the 4th base? I don't know. I don't think income is going to be the problem, though. You can see HeroMarine right here still with, well, 2.5k resources in the bank. Just needs supply and production here to get it done. Queen's also moving dangerously far off creep. Alright, is there enough right here for HeroMarine to push this home? Honestly, the Terran army is looking huge. Siege tanks, though, are low in HP. How many do we have? Okay, there's another one. We're at 7 siege tanks in total. 89 Zerglings, but these links are obviously very well upgraded. Actually, mass upgraded. Okay, he could actually go in. Oh my god, I think he could go. Okay, 1 siege tank there. Still dies to friendly fire. 33 kills, 34, 28, 25. 26. Oh my god, well here we go. Apparently this is the moment that Solar decides to collapse on top of this leftover Terran army. Is there enough right here for the Terran player to hold on? Orbital command over here. Okay, flying, but the siege tanks are now all destroyed. That being said, there's a nice little nuke right over here. Yeah, where those Terran units can chill. There are a couple of banelings over here. He's sniping the banelings. HeroMarine is done messing around. Using snipe right there with those ghosts on the banelings. This is an incredibly close game right now. Solar has spent the last of his money using those production structures inside of his opponent's main base. Once again, though, the medevac's getting some value in. There's no anti-air available here for the Zerg player at all. So, theoretically speaking, yeah, this should be really good right here for the Terran. This is a crazy end game. Oh my god. Is there enough? Okay, he once again... Yeah, he just kills a little bit and lifts up. Kill a little bit, lift up. At this point, Zerg needs to get a little bit lucky, I guess. If Zerg does not kill those medevacs, which they're not going to be able to, it means that HeroMarine technically should be able to use this very well. I love this too. Creating a nice little choke point over here for those units. Once again, a few snipes right there. Cleaning up a couple more of those Zerg ground units. Marines inside of the main base of the Zerg, killing whatever they can. GG. Beautiful end game right there by HeroMarine. I was doubting his straight move through the center of the map, but that was beautiful. Well done.